Just give me a minute, everybody. So I want you to see what I'm living through here. This is my iPhone 11 that these animals are hacked into. They have, now it just shut down. They have, they have sent something to my phone that it won't open now. And I get a message that says, go to an iPhone repair shop to have it repaired to get it turned back on. So now it's just another day in my life. This is what I deal with. So the good thing about it, as I said, what the devil means for harm, God turns for good, is I have learned to be quite sufficient on the internet and how to repair my own laptops and my own cell phones. So whatever. I have nothing else to do. I want to talk about something very serious right now. And these people have really gotten out of control on this internet. And I want to bring this out to the entire Christian community out here. This is a clarion call to every true servant of the Lord to put a stop to this. I got another death threat on my life last night, and it came by way of Corey Minor. And I'm not standing still for it. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know who these people think they are. Seiko Woods has been out here outing Corey Minor for the longest time. Has he threatened his life? You know, they always come and threaten my life, right? Richard Lorenzo just threatened my life too. Pagani threatened my life too. These animal Hindus have been threatening my life too. Why me? You know who the true servant of the Lord is. That's why me. So what did Corey Minor do yesterday? I have it in the description. About 4 minutes after I finished my video last night. Now, you know Corey Minor's routine. He does his 6 o'clock show, and there's nothing he puts out until the next day. Well, what did he do? About 4 minutes after my video last night, he put out a video on how did Adam and Eve die. And he pretends that he's going through the Logos system and teaching you how to look up one word. And the one word that he's choosing to look up is death. And he's looking up the word death in Logos, supposedly. And you'll notice with his mannerisms, his body language, he's either got a dry mouth or he's salivating. He's like almost choking on his saliva. He looks very nervous and very upset, and he's trying to hide it. And he's talking about death. What does it mean? He goes through Genesis 3. What does it mean when the Bible talks about death? That if Eve ate of the fruit, he talks about the death of the woman, that if Eve ate the fruit, that she would die. And he's talking about, he says, it's physical death. And he looks it up in Logos in the Hebrew, and he says it's physical death. So my life has absolutely been threatened by this guy. Now, what I want to ask all of you out here, Rob from Love Agenda, I want to ask you how much you want to support this guy now. Marcus Rogers, how much do you want to support this guy? Well, the truth of the matter is, I absolutely can see through every single one of you out here, just as I said I can see through you. And I knew who this guy was. And I don't care who he thinks he is. He's not going to threaten my life and get away with it. This idiot is on parole and he's out on the internet threatening people's lives. How moronic can this idiot be? And then what he tells you at the end of this death threat video is that if you want Logos, you can get 51% off by the guy that he had on his page Just the day before, he did a whole hour and 30-minute teaching on the Logos and offered that 51% discount for anyone who wanted Logos. So the very next night, out of his routine, he late at night makes a video on and looks up the word death. And he's going to show you how to look up the different meanings of the word death in Logos. And in Genesis 3, for the woman who ate of the apple, it actually means physical death. So this is what Corey Minor has done. All of you out here who want to say he was a true man of God, he's a saint. He's one of the saints, isn't he? He's really one of the saints. So Rob, would you like to make a video supporting him now? How about you, Marcus? Let's take a look at what the Bible says about, what does the Bible say about being a servant? John 12:26, if anyone serves me, he must follow me, and where I am, there will my servant be also. If anyone serves me, the Father will honor him. Galatians 5:13, for you were called to freedom, brothers, only do not use your freedom as an opportunity for the flesh, but through love serve one another. Well, this is exactly what Corey Minor did yesterday. He used his freedom as an opportunity for the flesh, and he ran with it. Mark 10:45, for even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many. Mark 10:42-45, and Jesus called them to him and said to them, you know that those who are considered rulers of the Gentiles lord over them, and their great ones exercise authority over them. But it shall not be so among you. But whoever would be great among you must be your servant, and whoever would be first among you must be slave of all. For even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many. John 13:16, truly, truly, I say to you, a servant is not greater than his master, nor is a messenger greater than the one who sent him. Colossians 3:12, put on then as God's chosen ones, holy and beloved, compassionate hearts, kindness, humility, meekness, and patience. Mark 9:35, and he sat down and called the 12, and he said to them, if anyone would be first, he must be last of all and servant of all. Matthew 25:21, his master said to him, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a little. I will set you over much. Enter into the joy of your master. Well, I don't think the master is very happy with Corey Minor. As I told you, he comes from the kingdom of darkness. He has not been serving the Lord Jesus Christ, not at all. And I saw that very clearly. Now, I want you all to get an understanding of actually what I was speaking about last night. You all are out here constantly abusing and stalking the demon slayers. I mean, constantly. Even after you've made a video correcting their false teachings, you keep going over it and over it and over it. Look at how Corey Minor couldn't even take an eighth of criticism that he dishes out on a daily basis. He couldn't even take an eighth of the criticism that he dishes out on a daily basis. He turns to threatening someone's life. I want you to try, if you're able to, because most narcissists are not able to. I want you to try to put yourself into the position of these demon slayers, how you hound them day in and day out, over the same things over and over and over again. Well, we now understand how you would react if that was done to you. This was the purpose of my video last night. And I said that I prayed that the majority of you would actually do some introspection and get right with the Lord. And what did this dude do? He went deeper in darkness. You see, we all have free will. We all have free will. And when the Lord tests you, you can either go further into the darkness or you can turn towards the light. And obviously, Corey Minor failed his test. But I'm sick and tired of people threatening my life. And I am calling on the Christian community to say something about this horrific behavior of these people who value life so little that they feel it's okay that they can threaten somebody's life who disagrees with them. But they can be out here tearing people down limb from limb, day after day after day. And as long as they're the predator, it's okay. As long as they're the predator, it's okay. When someone turns that eye on them, they threaten your life. Now, here's what I want to tell you guys. As you're watching this video by Corey Minor and you're watching his speech, how he is either having dry mouth or he's salivating at the mouth, he's not his normal self doing a teaching here. He's actually almost stuttering over his words. And I want you to take a look at something else that happens to him. He gets a twitching that happens on the right side of his head and his forehead here. I want you to understand that that is a demon. It is a rhythmic twitching that happens on the right side of his head. That is a demon, and you're actually seeing it. You're actually seeing it. So I want to see if my phone has charged a little bit now. It's probably not going to stay charged for very long. Let me see if I can pull it up. You know, it's hysterical to me because the same thing happens with these animal Hindus that are stalking me. If I would allow them to torment my life, stop me from using all internet and not live, be like a prisoner in my own house, if I would allow them to do that to me, they would be very happy. They would be laughing and high-fiving each other. But because I fight them back and I refuse to allow them to abuse me, it makes them very angry. It makes them very angry that I will not allow them to be hacked in my phone and do their nasty business from my phone. It makes them very angry. And all I can say is too bad. I don't ever imagine that they would ever want to live through their own abuse that they're putting me through. They would never be able to take it. They have no backbone. They would never be able to take it. As you're seeing with Corey Minor. Unbelievable. So here, how did Adam die? That's what he put out last night. And just the night before, he did over an hour. He did a live over an hour. How to use Logos Bible software, 51% off. And so last night after my video, the video he uploaded after my video was uploaded 4 minutes after my video, doing a teaching on the word die. Doing a teaching on the word die.
I want to cover something in Genesis 3 and 2 that sometimes we see we might not be able to reconcile.
Look at,
rationalize.
He's tripping over his words. That's not normal Corey Minor.
Sometimes there can be a tendency to add something to the text that's not there. We're not trying to do so, but we're just trying to make this thing harmonized. And what we're trying to get to harmonize with the text is with our understanding. But this is where some of the tools of Logos can actually come out and help you with. So let's go to the Bible. Let's go to Logos and let's pull up Genesis chapter 3. And here we have this text that's going to be put. And so to say that she sinned by lying, because that would be a lie, to say God said something and it didn't happen, that would be wrong. She hadn't lied yet. She is still without sin for the moment. However, the point is what's getting ready to be stated later. You shall not eat from it or touch it, or you will die. And I want to focus on this
die
in just a second. Let's continue reading. The serpent said to the woman, you surely will not die, for God knows in the day that you eat from it, your eyes will be open and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. So what happened? She ate of it, right? Here's the question. Did she die? Did Adam die? Did they eat of the fruit? She took from the fruit and she ate from it. The question was, did she die? Let's keep reading. Let's drop down to verse 6. And he says that, notice what it says. So mimenu is from you, ki, when, and then this word beyond. It is, notice if you let me highlight this word also. It is not in, it is in the, there is no definite article under us, knowing good and evil. And now he might stretch out his hand. And what does it say? Click on this. And take hold, take his hand and the tree of life and eat and live forever. So what was giving him life to live forever is now taken away. So what is going to be the result? They will now begin to die. From what point? From that day going forward. So now we can see what's meant. Now, is there a spiritual death that takes place from there? Sure, but we need other texts to bring that in as well. But when he speaks about dying, he means literally dying. Now, is there a separation between man and God? Yes. There becomes a separation between man and God, and they're cut off from the one thing that gives them life forever. But they do have the ability going forward, we'll read later, they have the ability going forward to have a relationship, to be reconciled back to God through his offerings. See Cain and Abel, see every other offering going forward in the Bible. But here we understand what this word means. So here we understand what the word means.
There goes the twitching.
And we can use it properly, and we don't have to add anything. And oh, by the way, it doesn't take away from any person's theological understanding. We just have to use the right keys. It's like saying 2 + 2 = 4. And then the teacher asks, well, how do you get that? Well, 2 + 2. It's like saying 2 + 2 - 3 = 1, and then which is the right answer. But then the teacher asks you how you got that answer. Well, one of the two doesn't count, and then you take the other two and subtract 1 from it, and that'll give you 1. Well, that makes sense. You got the right answer, but how you got there, how you arrived was incorrect. And so when you use these numbers later on, now you're subject to be all over the place. Same thing with this. When you use these words later on, you are subject to be all over the place. Since the word for death is always meant to be death physically, that's what it meant there as well. It'd be odd for it to mean one thing the very first time that it's used, or one of the first times that it's used, and then every other time means something totally different. So I hope that helps with you.
It's in the description. You can watch and hear what he says. You can see his mannerisms. This is not typical Corey Minor. You could see the twitching happening in the head. That twitching is literally a demon. And I've had it with these people. They are not going to get away with threatening my life. I've really just had it. Now, if I've got to call in the FBI, that's exactly what I will do. Corey must miss his home. I'm sick of these people. I'm sick of them. And if the Christian community is not going to come together and kick these animals to the curb, I guess I'll have to take on that job myself. Because no one's going to get away with threatening my life. I don't care who you think you are. So as you can see, the goal was to allow people to see what they're doing out here, to have them understand that they're not walking in the light. By their constant abuse of the demon slayers, they're actually stalking and abusing them. They're not doing the exposing evil that the Lord showed us in the Bible that we're supposed to be doing. It has gone way beyond that. The fact that these people are out here constantly threatening people's lives, they have gone way beyond that. This is total darkness. This is total darkness. They're going to wish they never went up against the light. That's all I have to say. That is all I have to say. You got me, Corey? You mess with the wrong chick. I'm going to leave this here.